night, but tonight I could go.
You heard this along. I might better make it to catch my daughter's concert.
I call to order the Ascension Parish Council meeting Tuesday, April 19th. Our invocation tonight will be by Miss Sherry Kinchin, our Human Resource Director.
As they work to improve the quality of life in our parish. We ask you to watch over our troops at home and abroad as they serve this great country, and we thank you for all the blessings we received during this Easter week. Please watch over Elizabeth Johnson, who is ill, and Councilman Randy Cluot, who is in pre-op for shoulder surgery. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sherry. Our pledge tonight will be led by our DPW head, Ronnie Fairchild.
Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ronnie. Roll call, Ms. Cinnamon. Missing tonight, Councilman Cluart, who will be having surgery. Councilman Oliver Joseph. Chair additions.
Yes. We like to add AMI Kids Revolution. Councilman Bell.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Thompson, a second by Councilman Shakespeare. All in favor? I'll need a roll call, please.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Benny Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Vincent Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Chris Lord.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
Councilman Valentine.
Yes. Okay. Thank you all, Councilman. We will add this to 6B under the Parish President's report, please. Next, I have public comment period. Anyone wish to speak on any item, any agenda item, I'm going to allow you about a minute to come sign up with Cinnamon. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank y'all. We will next move into our presentation. Tonight we have National Women's Health Week in Ascension Parish. A proclamation, please. President Martinez.
Proclamation to proclaim May 8th through the 14th National Women's Health Week in Ascension Parish. Whereas National Women's Health Week was initiated by a coalition of public and private organizations dedicated to raising awareness of women's health issues, and whereas National Women's Health Week has been observed each spring with an annual celebration held the week following Mother's Day, and whereas National Women's Health Week promotes women taking responsibility for their own health through greater knowledge and understanding, and whereas because it is within St. Elizabeth's mission to improve the health of the community through education, St. Elizabeth Hospital has chosen Ascension Parish to officially continue its local efforts. Now therefore it be proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim May 8th to the 14th, 2011, as National Women's Health Week in Ascension Parish, and urge the women of this parish to make their health a top priority through education and by scheduling recommended screenings with their physicians.
Oh, we're doing the kickoff event for National Women's Health Week is a luncheon that's going to be May the 4th at Elegant Affairs. And the topic is Expect Respect, Fostering Healthy Relationships for Women and Girls. Martha Forbes, who's Executive Director of the Battered Women's Program, will be speaking. And we're hoping for a sellout crowd, which will be 240 people. But this is a wonderful kickoff for that event. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Dee Lejeune is generally here, but she wasn't able to make it tonight. I think the volunteer awards are tonight, Volunteer Ascension Awards.
Okay, sir. Next, we will have Mr. Roland Doucette. Would you come forward, please?
And wife.
And yes.
We have Roland's biggest fan here, Mr. Nicky Frazier, on tonight. So I told you he was going to make it. State of Louisiana proclamation to proclaim April 20th, 2011 as Roland Doucette Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas Roland Doucette was born to Haywood Doucette, a rice farmer and fiddler, and Elia Doucette, his mother, and first dance teacher. And whereas having grown up in a household full of musicians and dancers that led to Roland's lifelong love of music and the arts. Whereas as a young man, Roland served his country faithfully as a Marine during the Vietnam War, where he received the Purple Heart for his heroism. And whereas as his life's journey continued, the career of broadcast radio opened before him, giving Roland an avenue to promote music near and dear to his heart, French music and swamp pop. And whereas many years and numerous awards later, Roland continues to champion his love of the arts while being a strong believer in his culture, his country, and his willingness to share his joie la vie. Now therefore, be it proclaimed, I, Tommy Martinez, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by the virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim April 20th, 2011 as Roland Doucette Day in Ascension Parish, and make him an honorary parish president on this day, urging our citizens to accord him all respect and honors due to an honorary holder of this high office. Roland, we appreciate all the years as being an ambassador for Ascension Parish and making everybody's Saturday morning a lot better in Ascension Parish and all over South Louisiana. You do a wonderful job. You're just a great ambassador, and we love you for it. And we want to honor you with this day. Now, anybody's got any problems from here on out, call Roland Doucette. On April 20th, just today. So, Roland, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And it's a nice honor. When I got a call from Mr. Bell, it was kind of shocking. And you don't do what we do to get accolades, but it sure does make you feel good when your peers recognize it. So I thank my wife for supporting what I do, my children and my grandchildren, because with their support, it makes it a lot easier to do, because sometimes we spend some hours doing it. But anytime that we have something from the parish that needs to get some recognition, just let me know about it and I'll put it on the air. I'll find a way to do it. But thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, if I could get my son Brian and my granddaughter Riley, my son-in-law John Causey, and my daughter Michelle. Michelle's a teacher at Santa Monica Middle, so y'all can be in the picture.
Sorry, Pat. You out.
Okay. Next, Mr. President, we'll move into the parish president's report.
Yes, I'll ask Mr. Joseph, I think, is going to read the proclamation, or is it
Well, no,
Lester?
sir. Item A was going to be extreme cleaners.
Okay,
Please come
Extreme
forward.
Cleaners, Lawrence, would you come forward and tell us a little bit about what's going on? Yes, sir.
My name's Lawrence Douglas and my wife Amber. She and I own a company called Extreme Cleaners, legal name's Blood Clean Services. We had the fortune to be picked up by TLC to be on a national television show. And we just feel blessed that we've been able to give that opportunity. We understand that we're the only Ascension Parish company that's been afforded that opportunity at this time. And it's going to be on this Thursday night, 2 nights from now at 9 o'clock and 9:30. And we started the company, we do what's called extreme cleaning. We help families in need that during tough times, if they don't have any other resources, we come in during suicides, homicides. Case in fact, in point today is we have one in Baton Rouge. Family was, they have a daughter in the 40s, an older mother, and the 40-year-old daughter is having some hospice issues, and they went to set her up, and they went to the home and found it was just in such disrepair they couldn't even fit the bed in and such. So they've asked us to come in and clean it up for them, and they'd called other companies and just none of them got near their budget. So we've worked with them and worked out where we can do it for them and get them the help they wanted. And that's why we started this company, is to be able to help people in their time of needs. We work with insurance companies. The 2 cases that you'll see televised, one they hauled us all the way up to Michigan, help a mother of 4 that had health issues and she had no other resources. And another one was down in New Orleans we went to. Family after Katrina. The brother ended up dying in the home and created a biohazard situation. Sister couldn't get any help. She just locked up the house and walked away for 2 years. And then she was under the blight to the community fines and such, and so then she went to get contractors. Nobody could go in and do it because of the biohazard. So we went in, did the biohazard remediation, did the construction, and got her off the list, and she doesn't have to pay any fines or anything now. So those are the things we do. Our biggest thing right now in the area is we're doing a lot of the meth labs. If you heard, the COPS grant ran out, so we're working with the agencies and trying to do it basically at their overtime cost only, and trying not to make a lot of fee off the law enforcement, but give them as a resource and just so they have us available for other things. So that's our company. We're based right here in Prairieville. We're going to be on WBRZ Thursday. We're going to be on WAFB. The Advocate Thursday is doing a story on the front page of People for us, and other different medias also. Thank you so much. Any questions? Or?
Okay, somebody got any questions, Councilman? Okay, okay, sir. We thank you very much and good luck.
We appreciate
Okay,
the
sir?
opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Item B, President,
Lester's going to read it.
Lester be the proclamation.
Okay, I need
Gentlemen, this is your resolution of support. It's a resolution supporting the continuation of the AMI Kids Donaldsonville program by the Office of Juvenile Justice Department. Whereas the AMI Kids Donaldsonville program's mission is to protect the public safety and to positively impact as many youth as possible through the efforts of diverse and innovative staff members that want to continue to provide services to the youth of Louisiana by separating a troubled past from a bright future. And whereas the AMI Kids Donaldsonville is a nonprofit alternative education program that has served at-risk kids from 14 to 18 from Ascension Parish and neighboring parishes. And whereas this program's personal growth model combines education, treatment, and behavior modification to provide a holistic, comprehensive approach to the needs of our kids, resulting in over 77% rate of students transitioning back into the community. And whereas the AMI Kids Donaldsonville goals are to reduce juvenile crime, increase academic gains, increase employability skills, and increase community service. And whereas research indicates that, quote, all but the highest risk youths are less likely to return to crime if kept in the community rather than incarcerated. And whereas the Ascension Parish Council as the legal governing body of Ascension Parish, recognizes the impact of the AMI Kids program has had on the at-risk youth in our parish and the need to continue the program services throughout the state of Louisiana. Now therefore be resolved by the Ascension Parish Council that the Office of Juvenile Justice Department continue to support and fund the state of Louisiana AMI Kids program in their 2012 budget. In witness whereof, the Ascension Parish Council affixes its official seal of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, on this 19th day of April, 2011.
A motion to approve the resolution, second by Councilman Adrian Thompson. Any objection? Resolution passes.
Good evening, thank you. Do you have any questions? I had a whole presentation prepared. But that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Councilman Joseph.
Can you just, yeah, Mr. Yeah, just, can you give us a little overview? I know this is in the 23rd Judicial District,
Yes.
and the program is for our tri-parish.
Yes. AMI Kids Donaldsonville is a nonprofit, community-based program that services at-risk youth in Ascension, Assumption, and St. James parishes. We've been in the state of Louisiana over 20 years, starting with the Baton Rouge Marine Institute, which is in Baton Rouge. We've been in Ascension Parish and Donaldsonville for the last 5 years. As a result of the current financial state of the state of Louisiana, the Office of Juvenile Justice is contemplating taking us out of their budget. So right now I'm traveling around to the different parishes, the councils, superintendents, legislators, House, the Senate, along with AMI Kids, other executive directors, and our corporate officers, trying to get support to keep the program going. In the state of Louisiana, we service about 300 kids that have about 330 crimes, ranging from aggravated rape, assault on a police officer, assault on school staff, possession of a firearm. There are about 330 charges. So what the Office of Juvenile Justice is contemplating doing is in the August school year, starting 2012, they're going to release the students back into the community. They'll be back in school, enrolled in school, and that will be without a complete service, the treatment service, the behavior modification service. So it's our position is that these kids will not make it in the regular school system. At this point, the 303 kids that we serve have gone through the regular school system, they've gone through the alternative school system, and they've been either expelled, suspended, they're truant, or they've been convicted of some type of crime. So without our program in the state, you'll see about 300 kids on the streets in the school year. So I'm, again, just going around asking for your support that we keep these programs. We're very important to the community. So that's
President Morton is.
Yes, I've had the opportunity on several occasions to visit the school, and I can tell you it's well run. It's a military fashion school. The kids seem to be kept in order and do an excellent job. I don't know what the success rate is at this particular unit. Could you?
AMI Kids Donaldsonville has a 17% recidivism rate, and that was as 2 years, 2008, which is the best rate in the state with the AMI Kids program. So we have the, I'm not bragging, but we have one of the best rate programs.
But it is a worthwhile program, and it, you know, if we can save that many children and keep them out of jail and out of trouble, it's well worth the effort to go ahead and send this resolution in and ask for the program to continue.
And I invite, tomorrow we're having a community appreciation day from 11 to 1 at the program for the community to come out and just to say thank you for what they do, because we do have a lot of support from the community, and there's going to be a band, the Michael Foster Project, Miss Roses is catering from St. James, and then you'll just tour the program, get a chance to meet, put, you know, faces on the kids that we're really dealing with, because we have about 13 from Ascension Parish, about 13 from St. James, and about the equivalent from Assumption. But thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything else, President?
I just want to, we want to announce the National Day of Prayer is going to be on May 5th. It starts at 11:30, ends at 1. We'll be serving lunch. It's at Lamar Dixon. We want to encourage all of you to go. Ms. Tracy Marquette, again, is chairing it and does an excellent job. And if you need any more information, just give our office a call. We'll be glad to get the paperwork out to you and let you know what's going on. But we appreciate it, and please try to go. And, of course, Saturday we're going to have an Easter egg hunt from 2 to 4 for at Lamar Dixon for kids ages 2 to 6. So if you have some kids or grandkids that want to come out, doesn't cost anything, and we're going to have I think they're going to have a great time, and it's going to be fun fall, including Mr. Bell, who's going to wear the rabbit suit. So.
Yes, sir. Okay, Councilman, we'll move to item 7, consent agenda. I'll need a motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chris Lord, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. I'll move into the general business section, item 7. I do have 6 speakers on this. First will be Greg Duplessis, please. And item 7 is funding for master plan efforts by the Planning Commission Subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how it works out. I'm always first, but
Yeah, well, that's how it came to me, sir.
first I want to get this said so I don't get the whistle on my time. Is on behalf of my neighbor, Mr. Tim Terrio, who, due to circumstances beyond his control, absolutely could not be here tonight, but he wished me to speak on his behalf as well as my own. He was recently elected to the Master Plan Subcommittee as a volunteer, and I serve as his alternate. And we just really want to appeal to this full council to fund this master plan. I was fortunate enough to attend their first meeting last week, and it was pretty impressive. There were probably over half of the people that are on the subcommittee are people I don't know, but I was very appreciative of their effort, the manner in which the meeting was conducted. There was a lot of really good dialogue. Everybody who participated, which was everybody that was there, had a lot of good comments and conducted themselves really well. I just really think that this subcommittee format has been well thought out and has a lot of merit to it, and we have a real chance to let the people of Ascension Parish put a good master plan together. And I would just be really disappointed if it all fell apart because of lack of funding for $28,000. And in closing, I'll just say and remind you that I served on the Home Rule Charter Commission a couple of years ago, and you guys certainly didn't seem to have a problem funding that. The budget wasn't quite as big, but you seem to find the funds to allocate for that and allow us to review the Home Rule Charter. I just think this one is even much more important. It's something we vitally need, and it started off on a really good note, and I would like to see it continue. So on behalf of Tim and I, please consider and give the funding necessary, and also you're going to have an opportunity on several items tonight. Support the Planning and Zoning
Thank you,
Commission.
sir.
Thank you all.
Next, I have Charla Johnson, please.
Thank you, Council. I would just like to ask, just as Greg did, for the continued support of the Planning Subcommittee. In this way, though it's financial, the request is reasonable. It's a $28,000 request. It's for administrative clerical support. You know, the review and revisement of the master plan is being supported by volunteers from administration, as well as the development and business community, as well as the citizens. And we would like to continue the momentum and the progress, and would just ask for your continued support with this. The eyes of Ascension citizens are watching. They've been watching. I've gotten the feedback from every little venue that I go into in the public arena. I've seen you. I hear you. Thank you. So I just want to let you know that we're representing a large voice out there, and we would just ask for your continued support in this way, in a financial manner. So thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Byron Palazzo? Is that Byron, sir, or Brian? I'm sorry.
Thank you, Council. I wanted to start off by saying commending the council and the Planning and Zoning Committee for having the idea and coming up with that to actually allow the public to have their input into this meeting, and recognizing the fact that the public was speaking loud and clear in what they wanted, and the direction we were going wasn't what they wanted, and just allowing the opportunity for them to come in. I think it would be a big mistake to, now that we've got that, and spend a lot of the public's time in coming into meetings to choose and vote who they wanted to sit on these subcommittees, to now decide not to fund it and allow it to go forward, and allow the voice of not just those people on the subcommittee, but everyone that they've been listening to and been getting information from, to be able to be put into these master plans and move forward. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Mr. Al Robert?
I'd just like to echo, excuse me, echo what the other speakers have said. This is a process composed of not just residents, but business and industry, excuse me, and government representatives. $28,000 to finish the master plan is small money compared to the $62 million operating budget for this year. It is not a matter of finding the money, it's a question of whether this administration and council wants to work with the people. We're asking you tonight to join with us and develop a plan that comes from residents and will benefit everyone in our community. It's your responsibility and duty, according to the state law, and we're asking you to do your job and fund the revision and review of the master plan process that is continuing. Citizens are following this issue closely. I appreciate your consideration, and please try to find the $28,000 to help the people, to help you do your job. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Mr. Burt Duplessis?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Councilman. First, I would like to thank Councilman Valentine for putting this item on tonight's agenda. The master plan is a concern of many of the people in this parish. We're here to ask that you work with the people to develop a document that the people can support. From what I understand, the subcommittee began their work over a week ago and are making good progress. It is important that the future of our parish be planned by those who have the most to gain and or lose, the residents themselves, while also keeping in mind future development and growth. This subcommittee represents a diverse group from all sectors of the community, government, business, and the public. The commission, at the parish president's request, prepared a budget of $28,000. After watching and attending some of the meetings last year on the proposed master plan that failed, it was repeated several times that the parish spent $300,000 on that plan. The amount being discussed tonight is less than 1/10 of that. I ask you tonight to please approve the $28,000 budget as proposed, and I thank you for your consideration.
Okay, sir, thank you. Ms. Renee Baker? Okay.
Hi, I live in Santa Ma. I've never been in front of y'all before, but I just implore y'all to please fund the budget for the subcommittee. I've heard comments that it's a waste of taxpayer money and that it's going to be a half-hearted effort. What I would say to you is that if you came to the meeting where the subcommittee members were elected, you would have seen that that's not going to be a half-hearted effort, because there were at least 100 people in this room electing those to represent them for our public servant portion of it. I also attended the first subcommittee meeting where government, business, and the public were working together, and I would dare say that is not a half-hearted process, and that if this council believes in having citizen input, and if you really want to gain a consensus on a master plan, this is going to be the way that you need to do it. And that if it's a priority for you to have citizen input, supporting a budget for the subcommittee process is pertinent. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Councilman, that's all the speakers I have. I guess I'll put it to, what's your pleasure? Councilman Valentine.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion that we add the $28,000 to the planning department's budget and take it out of the general fund. Gentlemen, as you see before you, The budget typically, if you look at it, is primarily just paying our employees. The subcommittee is going to have to act just like any other committee under the rules. They have to post agendas, and there has to be notices. And so most of you mapping department, meeting workshop costs, and pay a secretary and planning commission official. So I would like to make that motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Councilman Valentine. I have a second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any objections?
Discussion.
I have discussion. Councilman Lohr.
My concern is really with the process, and I want to make sure all the voices are being heard. I mean, I'm glad to see the Planning Commission Subcommittee get citizens involved and start to reach out to some of the groups that were engaged during the last master plan process that took the greater part of a year. But I do think it would be half-hearted to just have a few meetings, even if we do have representation, without making sure we address the same concerns that we talked about last time with getting the school board engaged, getting the fire departments engaged, economic development, and our Chamber of Commerce, who has shared with me concerns that they have in this process. Economic development and Chamber of Commerce, they represent basically our entire parish economy. So they have a large stake in this too. Certainly citizens have a major voice in this, but there are other voices that I want to make sure are heard as well, and that we don't just slam this in and rush this through. So I think it would be wise of us to look at the other thing I saw with regards to the chamber today. They sent out a survey saying 75% of their members would like to see professional planners involved. I don't see that as outsiders coming in and telling us what to do. I think it helps to look at what other communities who have experienced similar growing pains, what they have experienced, and learn from them. That's not something that should be shunned, in my opinion. That's part of learning and trying to do the best approach possible. So, if they have concerns about it and they represent a large part of our community too, I think those need to be heard. And so I just think we should, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we table this for the time being, take this under advisement, and consider doing this right and funding this in full as part of the budget for next year, and restart the whole process that we undertook over the last year.
I'll second.
Is this a substitute motion?
Yes, substitute motion.
Substitute motion by Councilman Chris Lohr, second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection?
I object.
I have two objections. Give me a roll call, Ms. Simon, please.
Councilman Cullen,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Joseph, Councilman Joseph,
Question to the councilman who made the motion.
Yes.
You're saying taking it under advisement to next year budget? I just want to be sure of that. I mean, I'm all for taking it under advisement, but taking advisement to next year budget? I mean,
I'm saying if we're going to do it right, I think we need to analyze what the true cost is going to be, which is going to be, I think, more than $28,000. We need to analyze if we're going to involve professionals, planners, if we're going to restart the whole process, what have you. I think
We don't necessarily have to wait till next.
we don't have to wait till next year's budget, but I think that we just need to analyze this and take our time with this, and not just try to slam this in.
Now, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's where I have a problem with. Next year, I mean, you just say 30 days, 60 days. But on that terms right there, I cannot agree. If it have to be in this fiscal year, I would agree. But I have to say no on that one.
Councilman Joseph Lambert,
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert,
No.
Councilman Lohr,
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder,
Yes.
Councilman Thompson,
No.
Councilman Valentine.
No.
5 yeas, 4
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I make one comment?
Yes, sir. Councilman Lambert.
Yes, Mr. Lohr, I think you want to, what I'm understanding, you want to hire more professional people to look over this. On the last administration, we hired an outside firm to do the same master plan, and it went down. We hired another group under this administration and spent a lot of money, and it went down. And we're wanting to spend more professional services, and we're not listening to the people, what the citizens of this parish wants. And all we're doing is listening to what the outsiders are wanting, and other parishes. Our parish is unique, and it's special, and I'm proud to be here. And
As am I.
so I disagree with you on far as prolonging it any. It needs to be moving forward, because there's a lot of things need to be corrected, and they're ready to do so.
Okay, it's 5-4, Ms. Cinnamon. All right, motion fails.
Is approved. Motion's approved.
Motion is approved, I'm sorry. I will move to item 8, approval to bid interior and exterior renovations to Prairieville Fire Station 31. Mark Stewart, Fire Chief.
Good evening, Council. Just here tonight, we started this process early last year, put the money into our budget last year and then rolled it over to this year. We went through the process with professional services agreement with an architectural firm. They've drawn up the project, and we were just here tonight to ask for permission to take the next steps to put it out for bids.
Okay, I'll need a motion, please.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Benny Johnson, second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Council.
Chief. Councilman, we will pass on item 9. Pass on item 9, please. Item 10, resolution, ordering and calling a special election to be held by the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, October 22nd, 2011, for the purpose of authorizing an additional homestead exemption in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, for certain disabled veterans and their surviving spouses. President Martinez?
Yes, this is a constitutional amendment that was passed last year. Basically says this is an option, local option for each parish, and I think it's something that we should do to help our veterans and certainly our disabled veterans and their spouses. I think it's a good program, and if we can put it on the October 22nd election here as a local option election, I think the people here would certainly support it. It's not going to cost us that much money if you look at it, the amount of disabled veterans that we have here in the parish, so I think it's a good thing.
I got a motion by Councilman Kent Shakespeare.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any objection? Any discussion? Resolution passes. We'll move in our planning and zoning recommendations. Planning Director Ricky Compton, please. This first is to accept or deny, I believe, right, Ricky?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Zoning Review ID 2141.11, Lot 9B1A being the re-subdivision of lots 9B1 and 7A, formerly a portion of the Thomas R. Cannon Sr. property for Deborah C. Henderson, located on the south side of Merritt Evans Road, approximately 1,600 feet west of Joe Severio Road, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from medium-intensity residential to mixed use. The Planning Commission recommended denial of the rezone. This is to accept or deny their recommendation.
I'll need a motion, please.
I make that motion to accept Planning Commission.
Councilman Todd Lambert has the motion to accept.
Second.
I have a second by Councilman George Valentine. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Items 12 through 15 are for review only. Go ahead, sir.
Highway 73 Commercial Park, Small Plan Unit Development Plan, Piazza Development Group, LLC. The Joint Planning and Zoning Commission recommended denial for review only.
Okay, so before you get to item 13, sir, I have a speaker, Mr. Bert Duplessis, please. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, is it okay if I speak on 13, 14, 15?
Well, sir, it's for review only.
Okay,
It
I
will
just-
come back
it was-
up.
I was just going to make it
Yes, sir.
simple. If it's up to you. I can come back up, but
Yes, sir, it'll come back. It's
Okay.
going to come back in 2 weeks.
I just wanted to say that I'd like for y'all to look at the, I went to the last commission meeting, and I would like for the council, a lot of times I can't make a lot of meetings, and I'm not always able to be here at some of these meetings, so I would just like for y'all to look hard at the, at 13 and I'm asking y'all to take a good long look at it and just, in my opinion, needs to be repealed. It was unanimous vote whenever it came up at the last meeting, so I would appreciate it if y'all would do that. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Mr. Compton, please. Item 13.
Consideration of an ordinance to repeal the Plan Unit Development Ordinance, Appendix 6 of the Ascension Parish Unified Land Development Code for review only.
This is review only, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. All right, item 14, please.
Consideration of an ordinance to repeal the Traditional Neighborhood Development Ordinance, Appendix 7 of the Ascension Parish Unified Land Development Code for review only.
Okay, sir. Item 15.
Consideration of an ordinance to amend the tables, Appendix 1 of the Ascension Parish Unified Land Development Code to include removal of all residential from Crossroads Commercial, to decrease the units per acre from 20 to 10 in mixed-use zoning designation, and to remove zero lot line from mixed-use zoning designation for review only.
Okay, sir, we thank you. Next, we'll move into our introduction of ordinances. Legal counsel, Ms. Tony Falterman, please.
This is an introduction, and it is Leon Crossing Plan Unit Development Major Use Change, Site Plan Revision Phase 1, 2, and 3.
I'll need a motion to introduce, please.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Dennis Cullen.
Second.
I'm sorry. Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any objection?
Mr. Chairman, I'm recusing myself.
Councilman Shakespeare has recused himself. Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. Item 17, please, ma'am.
This is an introduction to revoke the entire 15-foot drainage servitude running across Lot 1A of the Millie Godan property.
Need a motion to introduce, please. Have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Second.
Have a second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. Before we get to Councilman Lambert, as usual, I have a couple announcements. We've already mentioned the Easter egg hunt this weekend. 2 to 6 years old from times 2 to 4. Please remember Councilman Randy Kluog with his shoulder surgery coming up first thing tomorrow morning. Thanks, Cinnamon, you and Myra. Thank you very much for putting this together for us. I know it was hectic. Lester, Clint, and John Conley, appreciate all y'all's work, your efforts. I got happy birthdays tonight. I have April 26th, John McMillan. I have April 24th, Councilman George Valentine. I have
Easter.
well, that's true. You might want to dress up like the rabbit, you know. But I have April 28th.
You gonna loan me your costume?
I have Councilman Dempsey Lambert on the 28th, and on the 30th I have Miss Cinnamon Gaucher. Thanks to Deputy Waggis back in the back of the room. And last, but certainly not least, I'll always end with just a tremendous thank you to our parish employees that make us what we are. We have the best of the best, and we're the best because of them. Thank y'all very much. Councilman Lambert.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion to adjourn, Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Benny Johnson.